Good morning. It is Thursday, March 26th. It is also Crazy Hair Day. So I hope to get some photos of you all today being silly and crazy. All right, we're going to wrap up talking about reptiles and amphibians. I know that was short and went by really fast. But we're going to finish up by talking about the life cycle of a frog. Okay, and then I'm going to show you some pictures of different animals and classifications. We're going to talk about what's unique to certain types of animals in our world. First off, I have some vocabulary words for you. Okay? Frogs, like butterflies, go through a transformation called metamorphosis. It's a big, long word. All right. Frogs live in ponds. They need to be near water because we talked about how their skin is moist and they can't get dried out. And they also kind of breathe through their skin. Oxygen goes in and out of their moist, permeable skin. So they need to stay close to a water source. And here we have a frog, okay? And we have a log. The frog likes to sit on the log. Here's water. All right, so we're gonna start, and actually one last thing, a lily pad. Frogs like to hang out on lily pads, and lily pads are water plants, different types of plants that grow in the water. So we have our frog. That's an adult frog, a mommy frog, and guess what she does? She lays her eggs, okay? And these are what frog eggs look like. Kind of gooey, look a little bit like eyeballs, don't they? She lays her eggs and then she just leaves those eggs and hopes that they hatch. And when they do, guess what they hatch into? They hatch into little tadpoles. That is a baby frog. You say, how can it be a frog? It doesn't look at all like the adult, and it doesn't. It takes a long time. So it has a tail. It has gills at this point because it spends most of its time in the water. And it doesn't have any legs yet. So that's the first stage after it hatches from an egg. And then sometime later, as it grows and develops, it turns into what's called a froglet. A little froglet, okay? Now, do you see anything about this? It might look a little bit more like a frog. Yeah, so the froglets have their legs. And they'd start to spend more time outside of the water. And eventually that tail will come off and develop into what we know as the adult frog. So that's pretty remarkable. So let's take a look at this picture. Okay, we have the frog life cycle. And this was an activity that I would like for you to do, maybe if you could do this a little bit later, is kind of think about it if you want to draw frogs or maybe make your own imaginary animal with a life cycle. All right, so we have the frog lays the eggs hatch, become tadpoles. The tadpoles develop into a froglet, and the froglet, fully grown, looks like that. All right, pretty neat stuff. So here we have a picture. Okay, let's see. There we go. We have some of our vocabulary words. Do you see the lily pad and the log, the eggs, the tadpoles, the froglets? So this is the habitat of a frog. This is where they can be found. All right. We have different animal classes and different things that make these animals unique. Okay, so we have amphibians. We know that they're cold-blooded, they're vertebrates, they have moist skin, and they lay eggs. Then we have our birds, and we're going to learn more about birds in April. They're warm-blooded. They're vertebrates, so they're similar to the frogs in that they have a backbone. They have feathers and wings, and they also lay eggs. Pretty neat, huh? Well, guess what? Fish lay eggs as well. Fish are cold-blooded, and they're also vertebrates. They have wet scales and fins. Okay, so do we know another animal that has scales? We do, but their scales are dry scales, right? Reptiles are cold-blooded vertebrates. They have dry scales, and they also lay eggs. We have insects. Remember we talked about insects? They have 3 body parts. How many legs do they have? Do we remember? 6 legs. Insects are cold-blooded, but they don't have a backbone. They are called invertebrates. They have exoskeletons. They have antennae, 6 legs, and insects lay eggs too. And then we have mammals, okay? Mammals are warm-blooded vertebrates. They have fur or hair, and they have babies that are born alive. Okay? So this is what's called the animal kingdom. All of the animals are divided into these groups. Some have similarities, some have differences, but the thing that makes them all the same is that they're all alive. And I gave you an activity classifying living and non-living things. I hope you got a chance to do that. And also an activity about the things that living things need. We talked about air, food, an energy source, a place for shelter and to raise their babies, to stay safe, sunshine, okay, water, things that living things need. All right. So for your assignment, I want you to talk about animals and kind of think about some of the vocabulary words we learned. Nocturnal. What does that mean? Hibernate. Which animals hibernate? Which animals are nocturnal? Which animals have feathers? How about migrating animals? Remember we talked about migrating where they leave an area for warmer weather? There's some animals that are coming back to Park City because they've left in the winter and now they want to come back for the summer, and those are the sandhill cranes. Okay? Think about animals that lay eggs. And what is your favorite animal? And maybe use your vocabulary words to describe it. Does it have hair, fur? Is it a vertebrate or an invertebrate? Does it have a backbone or an exoskeleton? I would like to show you my favorite animal. And this is Miss Chris giving her favorite animal a big kiss. So my favorite animal is a mammal, even though it doesn't have fur, but it did at one time. They have babies when they're born, baby whales. They have little whiskers when they're born, and they since fall off. But the babies are born alive. The mommies give it milk. It has a backbone. It's warm-blooded. Okay. What else about this animal? This animal swims. It eats meat. Okay. It has big teeth. It breathes air. It has blowholes up here where it breathes air. All right, so start thinking about your animals in that way. I also have another activity I was hoping to do with you. I would like for you to make a torn paper collage. Okay. Get some paper, tear it up, and make a collage. But first, let's draw a snake, okay? And here are the steps for a snake. We have touch up and around, right? And then you can draw a curvy line. And then you can do another up and around and fill in that curvy line, connect it. And then, oh, these are more up and around for the eyes, for the nostrils. And then at last, You can add scales in and a tongue. And then from here, make a scene. Maybe make some grass, make a sun, trees, whatever you want to add to your art project today. All right? I'll read a story to you later called The Hop-A-Million, and we'll call it a week. Next week we'll start on some activities learning about spring, and hopefully you'll be able to get out and about and look for some signs of spring. Have a great day and a good weekend, and I'm looking for pictures, crazy hair pictures. Have a good day.